All right, so today we're going deep on Somaliland.
Ooh, Somaliland.
Yeah, have you heard much about it?
Um, I haven't really, no.
It's not exactly a household name, right?
Right.
But it should be,
Okay.
because this place is doing some really interesting things.
Okay.
We're basing our deep dive today on an opinion piece from the Somaliland Chronicle.
Okay.
It was published on January 31st, 2025, and it makes a pretty compelling case for why Somaliland deserves more attention.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, you and me both.
Okay.
So we're in the Horn of Africa.
Right.
I think Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, a region that's often in the headlines for conflict and instability.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
But Somaliland is different.
Different how?
Well, for one, they've been quietly building a stable, functioning state for over 3 decades.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and they've done it all without official recognition from the international community.
Really? They're not recognized as a country?
Nope, that's damn right.
That's wild.
It is, but it hasn't stopped them.
So how have they managed to stay stable in such a volatile region?
Well, they've held regular elections and had peaceful transitions of power for over 30 years.
That's remarkable for any country, let alone one in that part of the world.
Right. It's a pretty stark contrast to their neighbors.
Yeah. You mentioned Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea. All have faced major conflicts and instability.
Exactly. And Somaliland is right there in the middle of it all. But they've managed to create this oasis of stability.
A beacon of hope, you might say.
Absolutely.
It sounds like they've really committed to building strong institutions.
Yeah, and to having a government that's accountable to its people.
It's not just luck. They made a conscious choice to prioritize stability.
All right, so they've got the internal politics figured out.
Yeah.
But how about their interactions with the rest of the world?
Yeah, good question, especially for a self-declared state. Isn't it a bit risky putting yourself out there like that?
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But they've managed it strategically.
Okay, I'm listening.
Take their role in maritime security, for example.
Maritime security.
Yeah. Somaliland plays a key role in combating piracy and securing trade routes in the Gulf of Aden.
Oh, wow. That's huge for global trade.
Right. The Gulf of Aden is a major shipping lane.
Yeah, one of the busiest in the world.
So Somaliland's efforts are benefiting not just them, but also the global economy.
Smart move.
Really smart. And this approach makes them a desirable partner, even without official recognition.
How so?
Well, it demonstrates their commitment to being a responsible player in the region and on the global stage.
Makes sense.
Okay, now let's talk about something that really got my attention while I was reading this article.
What's that?
Somaliland's economic potential.
Oh, yeah. What's the story there?
The author dives deep into this, and honestly, it's pretty impressive.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So they've got significant deposits of lithium, uranium, rare earth elements.
You're talking about the kind of stuff that makes investors drool.
Yeah, exactly, and for good reason.
Okay, give me the numbers.
The USGS estimates Somaliland's lithium deposits alone could be worth billions.
Billions. Wow.
That's potentially enough to supply a significant chunk of the global demand for electric vehicle batteries.
That's huge. But come on, let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
Are there any challenges that could prevent them from actually capitalizing on this potential?
Of course there are challenges.
Like what?
Developing the infrastructure to extract and process those resources, attracting responsible investors, navigating the complex geopolitics of the region. It's not going to be easy.
Never is.
But the potential is there, and that's what's exciting.
For sure.
Okay, so we've got these valuable resources just waiting to be tapped.
Right.
What else is in Somaliland's economic toolbox?
Okay, so on top of those minerals, they also have potential oil and gas reserves.
Oh, wow, even more.
And then there's what's called the blue economy.
Blue economy, that's a new one.
Have you heard that term before?
I haven't, no.
It's basically all the economic activity tied to their coastline, fishing, shipping, logistics, harnessing the economic power of the ocean.
Ah, got it. So they're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Right, which is a good strategy, especially in such a volatile region.
How do they connect all these resources to the rest of the world?
That's where their location comes in.
Right.
Somaliland sits right at the mouth of the Red Sea.
Ah, the Red Sea.
Yeah, a key shipping route connecting Asia, the Middle East, and Africa.
Prime location.
Prime location for a trade and logistics hub.
And it sounds like they're already taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
The article mentioned the Berbera Port development by DP World.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
What's the deal with that?
It's a massive project that's transforming Berbera into a world-class port.
How so?
Well, it has a capacity of over 1 million containers and is equipped to handle all types of cargo.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, and it not only benefits Somaliland, It also provides landlocked Ethiopia with an alternative route for their imports and exports.
Interesting. So Somaliland is making itself indispensable to regional trade.
Exactly, they're playing the long game.
Smart. Very smart. And speaking of smart, let's talk about their approach to development.
Yeah, how so?
The article contrasted Somaliland with many African nations that rely heavily on foreign aid.
Right, the aid dependency problem.
They seem to be doing things a bit differently.
Fill me in.
Somaliland focuses on generating their own revenue
How do they do that?
through taxes, customs, and trade. This self-reliance is a key part of their identity.
Interesting. And it gives them a level of autonomy you don't often see in the region?
Right. If you're relying on handouts, you're always at the mercy of someone else's agenda.
Yeah, you lose control.
Somaliland seems to be saying, we'll do it our way.
I like that.
And it's not just about pride, it's about control.
How so?
By being financially independent, they strengthen their negotiating position on the international stage.
Oh, I see. They're not beholden to foreign donors.
Or subject to the conditions that often come with aid.
They're calling the shots.
Exactly, on their own development. And that's got to be empowering for the people of Somaliland.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility.
Right, they're not waiting for someone else to come and fix their problems.
They're taking charge of their own destiny.
Impressive.
All right, so to sum up, they've built this incredible foundation. A stable democracy, a strategic approach to regional security, and a commitment to self-reliance.
Yeah, they've ticked all the boxes.
But here's the catch. They're still unrecognized by the international community.
Oh, right. We talked about that at the beginning.
That's got to be
It
frustrating.
must be incredibly frustrating.
So what's the deal? Why are they still unrecognized?
Well, it's a complex issue,
I bet.
but they argue that their track record speaks for itself.
What do you mean?
I mean, they've proven themselves to be a responsible actor on the world stage, so why shouldn't they be recognized?
Yeah, why not?
It's a good question.
What are the arguments against recognizing Somaliland?
Well, the biggest one is the potential for destabilizing the region.
I can see that.
Some argue that recognizing Somaliland could embolden other separatist movements and lead to more conflict.
Oh, okay, so it's a domino effect kind of thing.
Right.
But on the flip side, couldn't recognizing Somaliland actually contribute to stability?
How so?
I mean, they've already proven themselves to be a force for peace and security in a pretty volatile region.
That's their argument, and it's a compelling one.
So which is it, stabilizing or destabilizing?
Well, it's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, a real catch-22.
The international community is hesitant to recognize them because they're worried about destabilizing the region, but Somaliland argues that recognizing them would actually promote stability.
It's a stalemate.
In a way, yes.
So what's the likely outcome here?
Well, there's no easy answer.
I figured.
But what's clear is that Somaliland is a nation on the rise, and they're not going away.
Makes sense.
They're going to keep pushing for recognition, and they're going